Mr. President, it's ironic that the majority is reminding us that the legislature holds the power of the purse over the University of Minnesota, because this majority has been wielding that power like an axe for many years. When I was first elected to the House in 2002, Governor Pawlenty was the governor, and we were in the deep minority in the House, and we had a deficit in the state. And the solution that year was to start defunding the University of Minnesota. You know why? Because they were the one place that the state was putting money that had an alternative source of revenue. You know who that was? The students paying tuition. There was a time when the state of Minnesota, through the government, the legislature, paid 2/3 of the cost of educating students at the University of Minnesota. It's about 1/3 now. One might plausibly say, as I have said, unfortunately, repeatedly over the years, that we have now essentially moved, instead of having a public university, we have a private university that receives some public funding. So for those in the majority who are saying we're going to wield the power of the purse here, well, let's remember who's actually paying to educate our students at the university. It's the students themselves taking on way too much student debt, or it's their parents that help pay for the tuition, or it's the National Institutes of Health, which funds almost $1 billion worth of scientific research at the University of Minnesota. And there's a reason why the university is the economic engine of the state. And yes, that is a true statement. They employ tens of thousands of people in Minnesota. They bring in international level scholars and intellectuals who come here to get educated and stay here to provide the entrepreneurial information, the research base to start and grow companies like Medtronic that started here. And yes, the university pays their president a lot of money. Well, it seems to me that you want someone who's qualified to run a $4 billion institution, operation, bureaucracy, educational school. Do you want to go cheap on hiring someone to manage $4 billion worth of money? And for the majority here, whose principles used to be anyway, I think they still are, the party of the free market, to complain now that the university that has to go into the free market to hire the best people has to pay market rate in order to recruit and retain the best people, including the president, to complain now that the free market isn't where we want to be, that's also a bit ironic. But the most surprising and the most troubling juxtaposition now that we will have before us when the next board goes up and we're called upon to put a green vote up there, which I will not be doing. The most ironic juxtaposition right now is that for months, over and over again, we've been hearing the majority on this floor drumbeating the fact that public safety is the #1 issue, and in particular, that Minneapolis is just awash in crime. I'm beginning to question whether that's really your priority, given this amendment. And honestly, I look forward to hoisting that petard in the next 6 months over the votes that go up on this board, when your press conferences and your messages and your statements and your speeches on the floor here and the priorities you're saying on this Get Tough on Crime bill that we passed on the Senate floor last week. But when you say, we will help stop students and employees and people on the University of Minnesota campus and who live in that area, and there are a lot of people who don't work for the U or attend the U that live in that area, we want to stop them from being robbed. Except when it comes to concern about 3 men's sports. We want to stop those students and other people on the university campus from being pistol whipped. Except when it comes to 3 men's sports on campus. We want to protect our young women over there from being raped. Except when it comes to 3 men's sports at the U. So go ahead. Vote those priorities when the Rarick Amendment comes to a roll call. I'm looking forward to seeing that board.